graders, we're ready to tackle your first lesson in our mystery unit. Let's get the book and get started.
Where is the book?
I don't know, didn't you have the book?
I thought you had the book.
Oh, I bet Mrs. Empling has it. She's always taking books and not returning them
No.
to me and borrowing them.
Wait,
No.
what'd you say about me?
You got the book, right?
No, I thought you guys were all set to go.
Miss Sano, I thought I gave it to you.
Where'd you have it last?
Oh, you did give it back to me.
You had it all at your desk. You were writing the stuff.
Let me go check. Here it
Oh,
is.
shoo. Huh.
Mystery solved. Thanks for helping me with those clues to find my book.
This
Here
one's
it is.
been good.
The absent author. Today, we want to model for you something that mystery readers do before they even read a single word in the book. What they do is they start thinking right away, they start asking, what's the mystery here? What do I think the mystery is going to be in this book? And who is the crime solver? Who's going to be solving the crime in this book? Now, when I want to get an idea about those kinds of things, what might I do with this book to get my brain thinking about that?
I always look at the cover. I know you don't judge a book by its cover, but I always look at the cover.
All right, here's the cover. So I see on the cover of this book, the absent author, and I see some kids looking in what looks like a library or a bookstore maybe.
Yeah, it says the Book Nook.
Yeah. And I know absent means you're not there. If you're absent from school, you're not at school that day. And I know an author is someone who writes a book. So I'm guessing a book writer of some sort is missing. That could be. What else could we do if we're not want to get a little bit of information before we even start reading?
Look, I just turned it around.
I
Ah,
can see that back. That blurb.
Some books have blurbs on the back of the book that gives you a little idea about what it might be about. Let me read this book blurb to you. It says, a famous writer is coming to Green Lawn.
Oh, where's Green Lawn?
Must be the town they live in. Dink, the boy's name is Dink, rushes to the bookstore to meet his favorite author, Wallace Wallace, and get all of his books signed. But the author never shows up. Where is Wallace Wallace? It's up to Dink and his friends Josh and Ruth Rose to track him down.
Interesting.
Can I just show the students? Here.
Yeah.
Check it out. So that's the blurb. And this says Dink, so now I gotta, okay.
And their
Josh. Yeah, and Ruth Rose. All right. That is interesting.
What else might we do with this book?
Well, if we're not reading it yet, we saw the front and the back.
Are there chapters at all?
Let's see. I
Hey,
don't
that's
see
not a chapter, but it says something.
Yeah, I don't see any chapter titles, but it does look like there's another little blurb in the front of this book. Let's see what it says. A is for absent. Come on! Dink dragged his friends down the street to the Book Nook. That's the name of the bookstore, I bet. The Book Nook. They looked through the window, out of breath. The bookstore was crowded with kids. The Book Nook's owner, Mr. Paskey, had set up folding chairs. Dink noticed that most of them were already taken. Dink saw Mr. Paskey sitting behind a table. A big white sign on the table said, "Welcome, Wallace Wallace." But the chair behind the sign was empty. Dink gulped and stared at the empty seat. Where was Wallace Wallace?
Boy, this is going to be a good one.
Yeah, I don't see any chat. Oh, I do see
What's
this.
that?
There happens to be a map before we even start this book. So check out that map. It looks like if you look closely at this map, you can see Dink's house.
So you were right. It's Green Lawn. That's their town. So it says, welcome to Green Lawn. So, oh yeah, I wonder if the Book Nook is on here.
I wonder, where is
Can
it?
you spot it? I don't know. I see a church. I see a taxi. Oh, it looks like a giant book. I see it right there.
it is.
The Book Nook. All right, so that's helpful at least to see kind of all the things in their town.
So now let's think about these two questions. These are the questions you're going to respond to today. What's the mystery here? And who is the crime solver? So using the information from the cover, the blurb on the back if you have one, a blurb in the front if you have one, chapter titles, maps if there happens to be one, using any of that information, let's answer these two questions. Now, Miss Zano is going to model for you how we might do that using this book, and then we're going to ask you to go out and do that on your Google Doc using your own mystery book. So let's have Miss Zano show us what this might look like.
I think the mystery is that Wallace Wallace.
The author.
I-S.
Oh,
Wallace Wallace, the author.
the Wallace. The author is missing, right?
Yeah.
I wonder if Wallace Wallace is kind of like Dave Pilkey, or an author that we really like, and if
I
everyone
wonder.
wanted to go see him and he wasn't there.
That would
Yeah,
be
bummer.
that would be scary too. I think this because the title, The Absent Author. Let's see here. How can I write that? I think this because
I could just say up because of the title of the book.
yes, of the title of our book. Okay, so I think the mystery is that Wallace Wallace, the author, is missing. I think this because of the title of our book.
Should we include that on the back? Does it say the author never shows up?
Oh, so how should we add that? Just to add a little bit more to our
Hmm.
answer.
I think this because of the title of our book, and the back says the author never shows up.
Oh.
I think that's good.
That adds a
Good
little bit more to
evidence.
it. Yep. I think the crime solver. Now I think it's more than one crime solver. I think that there's 3 total
It
crime
was that
solver.
kid with the strange name.
Yeah, so I'm gonna put an S in there.
And we had their pictures.
Yep. So I think the crime solvers are Dink, Josh, and Ruth Rose.
You know, sometimes people that are trying to solve mysteries need help from their friends, just like you helped me when I couldn't find the book. So I bet you Dink is working to solve the crime or solve the mystery with Josh and Ruth Rose helping them as his sidekicks.
And I think this kind of also because of the back of the book too. It had their pictures.
Yep.
Plus, didn't it say that?
It's
Dink-
up to Dink and his friends, Josh and Ruth Rose, but it also says Dink rushes to the bookstore to meet his favorite author. So it's Dink's favorite author. And he's got his BFFs, I'm guessing, coming to help him out. Do you want to see that?
I was gonna even on the cover it shows. I'm guessing this is Dink because he's really looking in there. He's anxious to see Wallace Wallace, and I bet you this is Josh and Ruth Rose thinking, maybe we can help him with solving this mystery.
I like their expressions.
And Josh and Ruth Rose are good.
Give you something to look at while she's writing. She's like, what's with this going on in here? I don't know.
All right, let's read this second half now. What do you have, Miss Sano?
I think the crime solvers are Dink, Josh, and Ruth Rose. I think this because the back of the book says that Dink is rushing to the book nook, and Josh and Ruth Rose are with him.
You know what, Miss Sano? I think those are great responses because you
Thank you.
gave your answer and then you supported it with I think this because, and you used some evidence from the things that we talked about
Yeah.
today
Thank you.
to support your answer. So that's going to be your task for today. We'd like for you to open up that Google Doc that you titled Reading with your first and last name. Add today's date, and we want you to respond to those 2 questions. What is the mystery, and who is the crime solver? Now you can use your Reader's Workshop, your response log. If you turn to session 1, it kind of gives you what those questions are so that you can keep them fresh. You might want to try writing it with your pencil before you type it in, however you want to do it, but you can use this to help you as a resource. We can't wait to see what you're thinking about those first little bits that you see of your mystery book. Have a great time reading.
Bye!